Welcome once again to the Icons, Leadership in Sports. I'm your host, Rick Horrow. Each month we sit down with some of the biggest names in sports and discuss the moments that shaped their careers and why they chose to give back. This month, with college hoops tipping off, who better to sit down with than Dick Vitale? We'll also chat with NASCAR driver Kevin Harvick, who had an incredible run in 2020. But first, let's go inside the Icon with Dick Vitale. Dickie V was born in 1939 in New Jersey and grew up in East Rutherford. His father worked two jobs, as a clothing press operator and a security guard. His mom worked in a factory as a seamstress. In kindergarten, Vitale lost the vision in his left eye in an accident. He graduated from Seton Hall in 1963. Vitale may have coached basketball at more levels than anyone in hoops history. He went from elementary to high school to college as the head coach of the University of Detroit and to the NBA as head coach of the Pistons. He did all of that in just 20 years. After losing his NBA job in 1979, he started his broadcasting career at ESPN, and to say he's thrived is an understatement. In 2008, he was inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. Vitale has been married to his wife Lorraine since 1971. They have 2 daughters and 5 grandchildren. He's well known for his philanthropy, supporting the V Foundation and many causes near his home in Lakewood Ranch, Florida. We sat down with Dick Vitale in one of the most comfortable spots we could imagine, a high school gym. You're known for being the face of and the soul of college basketball, but you're so much more. I mean, the philanthropic aspect of this as well, and it started early. How did having blue-collar parents impact your kind of life growing up?
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that. My parents, mom and dad, were so unique and special. Had a doctorate of love. They certainly weren't educated formally, but they really were just great people, all about the family. And it taught my brother, sister, and I in this great country, if you have a passion and sense of pride about what you do, good things can happen. And I learned 2 things they used to say often. Never ever believe in can't, number 1, and number 2, I would hear it maybe 15 times a day at my dinner table. Richie, it was never Dick, Richie, be good to people and people are gonna be good to you. People have been great to me. I'm in 14 Hall of Fames. I can't run, I can't jump, I can't shoot. Look at his body, it's my rigatoni. It's unbelievable. And all my life though, I've tried to have passion with whatever I've done.
But the 14 Hall of Fames are Hall of Fames of X's and O's and life. And so, Richie, let me ask you this. You've coached at a lot of different levels, so the junior high, the high school, obviously college, the Pistons for a little while. Similarities, differences between all of that? I know it's a broad question, but what's kind of the biggest similarity and biggest difference?
Well, the biggest similarity is people chasing dreams on every level. I don't care what level they're at. They're all looking to go to the next level. They all want to make sure that they're chasing the dream. If you're a pro player, you want to be the best possible pro player. I think people that have goals in life, I think it's important to have a goal. Not only have the goal, you know, I tell young kids out there, have a goal, but it's the commitment to make the goal a reality. First question I would ask a player, he said, my goal is to do such and such. And I'd say, what is your plan to make that happen? Anybody can write a goal down, but what is the plan? What is the work ethic, the sense of pride that's going to get you to that where you want to go?
Not cynical, but just as a question, the NBA average salary now is about $6 or $7 million, maybe more.
Wow.
Do those kids or guys buy into what you're selling?
Well, I hope they do. I think many of them do. I think a lot of guys, you know, the dollars change, the lifestyle in terms of all the things in life, in terms of the house they drive, cars they drive. But down deep, if you got good character and you got a good foundation, it shouldn't change. I mean, obviously it's going to change some people, but it shouldn't change the person you are. Unfortunately, we see some of them with the entourages and all that, and that really frustrates me at times because some of them forget where they come from. I'm trying to get $4 million, and I'm begging 24/7 to try and get it for kids battling cancer. I need help.
talk about the V Foundation for a minute. How do you get involved? It's amazing what you've done, and how would your good friend Jimmy V react if he saw what you're doing with him today?
Well, I think Jimmy V would be on cloud nine if he knew, for example, our board of directors out there and all the people involved have raised over $200 million for research. My specific area is an area where I'm concerned about is kids battling cancer. I have a gala every year, Rick. Our gala sells out. We bring in about 50 celebs at the gala, and we've raised so far $25.3 million. And I'll tell you what really people out there want to help me. I have a new book out, and every sale of every book, not 60 cents, not 80 cents, every dollar I would make is going toward my goal this year is to raise $4 million to increase that. I want to get to 30 million. We need I believe 3 million to get there. And from my book, every book that is sold, it will go there. You can get the book if you want an autographed copy, personally autographed. Just go to dickvitaleonline.com, dickvitaleonline.com, and you'll get a personal autographed book.
You have an unparalleled ability to attract magic, excitement, luster. The whole business of philanthropy today is a lot different. A lot of corporate CEOs used to be doing it because they thought there'd be a return. Now it's more of the right thing to do. How have you seen the business change? Is it easier now or harder for you to raise money than it used to be?
It's not easy at all. Yeah. It's, you know, what really saddens me in a way is you reach out to the same basic people all the time who understand what you're trying to achieve, but it's not easy. I know business people out there got their commitments to a variety of things they're involved in, but boy, I wish, you know what really blows my mind is this. If a football elite program called a meeting that they said, you know what, with Notre Dame, Michigan, Ohio State, whatever, Clemson, Oklahoma, we need new facilities. We need new locker rooms. In no time. Oh wait, what would that cost? Oh, 60, 70 million. They get it in no time. I'm trying to get 4 million and I'm begging 24/7 to try and get it for kids battling cancer. I need help. People, please help me. You can make a donation at dickvitaleonline.com and you can be a member of my team in getting that $4 million.
Have you had a lot of help from college programs at all levels to help you reach your goal?
Yeah, we have people out there obviously that do help us. The coaches usually are very generous. Over the years, many of the coaches have helped us. There are a lot of kids out there who do emulate and do follow athletes. And I think unfortunately we see some that don't realize that and don't act the way they should.
Where I come from, people don't expect much of the person, especially a young Latina. There were countless times where I was told that I wasn't gonna make it, or that I was gonna get my hopes up, because according to them, Mexicans don't play golf. But I just have one thing to say to them. They do now.
Your 100 scholarship to the Boys and Girl Club of Sarasota, that's not the top publicity you always get, but it's really important to you and Lorraine. Talk about that.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, you've done your research. I already came up. So for over 20 years, Lorraine and I have tried to help kids at the Boys and Girls Clubs because I really feel they do a great job in giving kids an opportunity to chase their dreams. And something else very dear to my heart is we have scholarships in our name, the Dick Vitale Family Scholarship Award, and they never came to me, Rick, and pursued anything. I went to them, the University of Notre Dame. And our scholarships go, for example, every year they take the endowment dollars we gave them, they take the interest off that, and they distribute it to about 7, 8 kids per year, and we only have one rule. The kid has to participate in an activity that doesn't get financial aid. Like, for example, cheerleading, the band, those kind of kids can apply. And it's great when I see the letters I get back from some of these kids.
And I'm sure you leverage the opportunities for others to give to cheerleading, the band, and otherwise because you recognize that as a valid occupation, walk in life that's worthy of your support.
Well, we try to, no question about it.
All right, so athletes as role models generally, let's talk about that for a minute. You know, the Charles Barkley quote, taken out of context, by the way, but it's athletes aren't role models, I don't have to be a role model. What's your thought about all that?
Well, you know, I think to a certain degree, I know what Charles was trying to say. It starts at home.
Right.
It starts with mom and dad or grandparent, whomever. They set the stage because an athlete's not there every day with them. But let's face reality. There are a lot of kids out there who do emulate and do follow athletes. And I think, unfortunately, we see some that don't realize that and don't act the way they should. We need more Derek Jeters in the world. We need more David Robinsons in the world. We need more Grant Hills in the world. People that get it, man. They get it. They carry themselves in a very positive way. And I think that's what we need. And I think we have a lot of them that nobody even talks about. They're really good people.
Give us examples, or what's your thought about what the power of sports really is, how it's used to motivate people to do things that they otherwise might not want to do?
Well, you know, there's a lot of young kids out there. It's through sports gives them that opportunity to go on and chase their dreams and their goals. And without it, it's not going to happen. A lot of them really, they live. I tell kids all the time, read. Knowledge gives you power. We've heard that so often. I think Arthur Ashe used to say that really well.
Yeah.
The more reading one does, you know, find something you love and read about it. There's books out there. Teachers, I tell them constantly, and I know many of them do, emphasize to children the importance of reading, whether it be a magazine, a book, it's a sports hero. Read about them, learn about them, and it gives you vocabulary, it gives you a chance, helps your communication skills.
So would a young Dick Vitale who grew up in East Rutherford in the 1960s, would he have ever imagined doing what you're doing today?
You know what? I've been stealing money. I got inducted the other day in the Sports Broadcasting Hall of Fame, and to be there, I was in awe of the people I was inducted with. Bob Costas, Jim Nance, Mary Carrillo. They're real broadcasters. Rick, I've always felt I was a jock. I was in the gym. I got the ziggy, got fired, didn't know where to go. Here comes this network, offers me a job. I do the very first game. I'll go to my grave. I did the very first game in the history of ESPN. And when the guy called me, there was Scotty Connell. He said, we'd like you to do a first game. I said, what network? He said, ESPN.
And you said, what's that?
I said, ESPN sounds like a disease. Well, what is ESPN? And it's become a disease for the sports fanatic. But 40 years later, I mean, just having a ball. I'll go to a game, Carolina and Gonzaga, Duke and Texas Tech, and to be there with the kids, I get goosebumps. And when they start chatting my name, and I have just so much fun. Stealing money.
How did you? Oh, stealing money. We got to remember that. We got to record that to send it back to his employers for the next round of contract negotiations. I'm sure you're pretty well taken care of.
They gave me a lifetime contract.
You're relevant.
I got a lifetime.
Don't worry about it. I got a lifetime contract, ladies and gentlemen. Don't worry about anything you just said.
My boss, Scotty Connell, kept saying to me, Dick, don't do it. You got a chance to make a great living doing what you're doing because you have something that a lot of announcers don't have. And I didn't know what he meant. He said, you connect.
This is not about baseball. It's dedication. It's commitment. It's about developing a mindset in our youth. A mindset that transforms into true character. Old habits abandoned. Disadvantaged. Distressed. New fields envisioned as new opportunities. Instructors teaching life. Lesson learned. This is not about baseball. Help us make an impact on the lives of children in need. Go to ripkenfoundation.org/donations and make a difference.
When did you first realize that you were iconic? And I only mean it in the broad sense of the word. You walk in, you know, you do in basketball in many ways what Rick Horrow does in football, obviously, but it doesn't just happen. You don't walk in and say, I'm going to be iconic. I'm going to be a caricature of myself. How did it evolve?
Well, you know, first of all, I wanted to get back coaching in college. When I first started at ESPN, that was my dream. I felt my passion belonged in college. And my boss, Scotty Connor, kept saying to me, Dick, don't do it. You got a chance to make a great living doing what you're doing because you have something that a lot of announcers don't have. And I didn't know what he meant. He said, you connect. And I went on my first assignment for ESPN to a Final Four. It was 1983, the year Jimmy Valvano cut the nets down and won the national championship. And when I went there, people coming up for autographs and pictures, and I was like shocked. And my boss told me, see, bottom line is, I told you, you connect. They might not agree with what you're saying, but the bottom line is, did you hear what Dickie V said? You hear what Dick Vitale said? They'll go to the water cooler. So it's been a great run, man. I think ready for this. I got right now, I think it's 12 books I've written. As one writer wrote one time, he says, only in America can Dickie V write. At that time, I had 6 books. He said, write 6 books. That's 6 more than he's ever read. And, I tell you what, and he wasn't lying. But I'll tell you this. I look back now, been in movies, Blue Chips, He's Got Game, Jury Duty, cameo roles. I pinch myself every day because I've never worked. My mom and dad worked. They worked in a factory pressing coats. My mother sewed coats until she had a stroke. Then my dad walked the mall at night as security guard. That's work. What I do, that's why I get so upset sometimes. I hear pro players moan and groan about travel. Give me a break. They go charter planes all over. Yeah. They live first class, beautiful hotels, beautiful accommodations, and they talk about all this pressure. Bottom line is, and they get like, what job do you get 4 months, 5 months vacation on top of it? So I mean, don't complain, man. That's why I like LeBron James. LeBron James gets it. He gives back. He cares about young people, and he's never, ever, you ever see his name in the paper being in trouble? I don't think so.
We're going to package that, and we're going to send it as an instructional video to every NBA player on the planet, ladies and gentlemen, because they need to do it. You know, when you go to corporate presentations and you speak all over the country, CEOs would appreciate your message, and they do, but the other piece that I find interesting is you have this unusual ability to connect to people 60 years younger than you. Is there a message you can take away in this new millennial age to corporate people?
My wife gets such a kick out of that. She says to me, little kids running up for autographs and pictures, and I don't know what it is. I just think that if you're honest with people, I've always tried to be honest. I love doing corporate events. I love going there and trying to inspire and motivate, talk about things that I think are important in life, having a sense of passion, sense of pride. I often break pride down for perseverance, respect, intelligence, desire, and enthusiasm. And you give me a person that has those qualities, they're going to be successful in the biggest game of all that we all play, the game of life.
The only man with a lifetime contract with a job that he says he doesn't need any money to pay for or to do.
No, I like the cash they said.
Yeah, you like the cash. What an honor. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Few people have as much passion for basketball